am so happy. So if you didn't know, the new season 9 season pass is finally released. Now the reason that I am happy is because if you actually grind through this season pass, you can get this choosable 4-star ticket, which contains up to the 130 characters. That does not include limited characters. If you do the normal pass where you don't have to spend any diamond cubes, you get 1. But if you do the premium pass, you get 4. So today for this video, we are going to talk about who should you choose for this choosable ticket scout, or at least what I recommend. Now, I did have a similar video of 124 characters where it wasn't up to Decibert, but it was up to the Mito. So first things first, what am I going to talk about for this video? Talk about like overall, who should you get, whether you're a free-to-play person or a veteran who've been playing this game since the beginning or at the halfway point. Who's the best character to get out of all these characters? Who's the best Recollection character, Charge Yell, maybe Break Yell if you care about that, and also who's the best attacker. So let's get this started. Now here's one thing you should know first if you're new to this game. You shouldn't come into the mindset of like Genshin Impact characters or whatnot, because in this game characters come out weekly or sometimes bi-weekly. Unlike Genshin where it's like once a month, we get characters quite often, which means we'll have a lot of damage dealers and very little buffers, which are very important in this game. And I find this to be more important than damage dealers because there's too many damage dealers. Now with that being said, the newer characters, which is the top right here, are going to be much stronger than the characters in the bottom. So as I scroll past, these will be stronger than the ones down here. But the characters at the very top, they are going to deal more damage if you build them right compared to everyone else. And you also have to worry about elemental stuff. So of course, the basic stuff: fire better against wind, wind better than earth, earth better than water, water better than fire, light and dark go against each other. Think of it like Pokemon. So if you have the bigger advantage, that's how you deal more damage. Now, if you are very new to the game, you started off this game and you have this and you don't know who to choose, I would heavily recommend to you new players that you should get this dude. And by new players or veterans, I mean it very much depends on your account. If you don't have that many characters and you're struggling, this dude is going to help you. He is a very strong AoE character, just like the Collapse Suguha, which is going on right now. For each of his skills, he raises his own attack and crit damage, while his break does AoE. And he can also be a character that can beat bosses or just single enemies. Now you can see right here, if they have break stack and incarnate combo, which is the double incarnate, he has that as well. So if you have break stack and you break the enemy's break, he will deal more damage, or overall your team will deal more damage. Now let's say you already have a lot of characters, you could be considered a veteran type of player. In that case, you have to worry about each of your elements. Which element is your weakest? Who do you not have that's very strong and also up to date? In terms of strength, if you want the best earth element character, I would recommend Christmas Admin. And yes, for me, I've been wanting Christmas Admin for so long. She's actually really good for your earth elemental teams, so she is coming to my team. I am going to get her. Now if you want fire element, AoE is not really good for ranking events, only if you're new and you're still at the very beginning of like the main story quests and whatnot. That's when you should really worry about AoE. I guess even Cathedral, like the very beginning of Cathedral. But if you're further into the game, like let's say you finished the big majority of the main story quests, let's say you did a good majority of like Cathedral as well, I wouldn't really recommend Decibert. But I would recommend that is probably the best is this Asuna. I would say she would be the strongest fire element in here. Now, dark elements in here, they don't really woo me too much. These aren't really that great. Now, you could say Klein is good. I would honestly not recommend him. Dark element teams here aren't really super great. I would more go for someone useful like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'll talk about why he's more useful in a little bit. So in my opinion, for dark element teams, I would choose that Yu-Gi-Oh with the fancy hat. Another dark element character that you could consider, but there's a reason why I'm not saying to choose her. Now, some say this Abyss Aegis or Alter Aegis, she is one of the best characters, strongest characters in this game. The reason for that is because when you unlock her enhanced mode, and let's say you did a skill, let's say use your break or your assault. Now, yes, she will damage herself a little bit. But if the enemy were to either hit her or someone else in your team, this Aegis is going to heal herself, and it's almost max HP. And now she also has a really strong skill called Super Strong Continuous Damage. And as you keep using her skills with the enhanced mode, the Super Strong Continuous Damage, every time the enemy hits, it will deal even more damage. So if you stack it up, which I think max is like 7 to 9, there are people who have dealt over 200,000 damage every time the enemy hits, to even 5 500,000 damage every time the boss hits. And if you have multiple characters with this strong skill, the super strong continuous damage, so let's say you're using this Aegis and let's say the non-element Eastcon, they're both separate. So if you stack them both up, they can both deal 500,000 damage each on the boss, so 1,000,000 total. So it's a pretty broken skill. It's pretty strong if you use it right. But the reason that I'm not saying to choose her right away is because she is in the regular banner. Now this is just my speculation as I've been playing this game, as I've done scouts and I've gotten multiple shafted scouts where I don't get the featured character. I find it much easier to get older units when I get shafted compared to the newer units. So every time I get shafted, I always pray to get this Christmas admin ever since she was in the general banner, but I typically, for the majority of the time, always get people that are down here, and that also includes this Abyss Aegis. Now you can either choose that Yu-Gi-Oh or you can go for this Aegis. Either way, they're both completely good. For water element, if you want to deal the most damage, I would choose this Aegis that is near the very top. For non-element, I would recommend this non-element Eastcon, which I've also mentioned, like Abyss Aegis or Alter Aegis. He has the super strong continuous damage when you use his skill. And for wind element, you could go for Nergius, but he's not my favorite, and that's because of the AoE. By the way, if you do AoE, you don't get as much damage compared to if a character were to do a single hit on a single enemy. So out of everyone in here, I would actually recommend this Kirito, this wind element Kirito. And for light element, in terms of damage, no one here really woos me in terms of damage, but I guess if you really wanted a damage dealer that's holy element, I guess I would choose this Alice. Now, do you want to deal more damage in this game? There is a skill called Recollection Field, where if you build that up, you can deal more damage in this game. For example, let's say you have a ring that has an attack increase by 8% when your Recollection Field is step 3 or higher. So in this case, this Yuki would have a Recollection Field. You see that +3. So I'm gonna use her skill right here, or her incarnate animation skill, whatever. And now let's focus on, let's say, this Kirito's damage and also this Yuki's damage. So with the Recollection Field, he will deal 215,000 damage, not too bad. And for this Yuki, she is dealing 180,000 damage. All right, and now let's compare their damage when they don't have a full Recollection Field. So Kirito's only dealing 147, while Yuki deals 131, and they still have the same buffs as when I did the last one. And of course, there's other strats to deal more damage. I'm just showing off Recollection Field. There is a bit of a decrease because we didn't have the Recollection Field. And in case you don't know about Recollection Field, one Recollection Field gives you an additional 2% extra damage. Step 2, 5%. Step 3, 10%. 15, 20 if you get to step 5, aka a max Recollection Field. So now for each element, I will tell you which character is actually the best for Recollection Field for each element. You should always have at least one of these characters in your team. That is very much recommended. So for Dark Element, let's start off. It's this Yu-Gi-Oh. That's why I said for Dark Element, you should choose this guy because he actually does have Recollection Field. For Fire Element, I would choose this Administrator to get the Recollection Field. For Non-Element, I would choose this Yuna right over here. Holy Element, like I showed the little showcase, I would choose this Halloween Yuki right here. For Wind Element, I would choose this Asuna. And for Water, next to Halloween Yuki, I would choose this Yu-Gi-Oh right here. I think that's all of it. I feel like I skipped one. I'm not sure. Now, Charge Yellers. These characters are very important. It is recommended you have at least one of these characters. Now, characters with this Charge Yell, it could be used on the same element or any other element, so it doesn't matter what team you put them on. So what it does is we have 245 charge right now. So if I use a charge, it goes up to 270. But if I were to give this enhance to that same Yuki, it will now go up even higher to 309. And if you don't know what this charge does, it gives you incarnate to deal big boy damage, something like this. You know, just a little example. I could deal more damage. This is just a little snippet. Dark element characters, I would choose this Terraria Lifa. For earth element characters, I would choose this Asuna. For holy element characters, like I showed earlier in the video, I would choose this Yuki again. For fire element characters, I would choose this Shada. For water element characters, I would choose this Undyne Asuna. For wind characters, I would actually, at the very bottom, I would choose this Lifa, but I wouldn't really recommend it. She's actually very easy to get if you get shafted. And also free scouts, you're more likely to get this leaf. I wouldn't really waste your ticket for her, but if you want, you can. For non-element, you can actually choose this Asuna. I always feel like I'm missing. I think that's all the elements, but I feel like I'm missing something. And for the last one, this isn't super important. I really wouldn't focus on this too much unless you're very new. There is a skill called Break Yell, very similar to Charge Yell, except you lower the enemy's incarnate much faster. So you can see on my face cam, the enemy has 300% incarnate. If I were to do a break right now, it would go down to 252.5. But if I were to use a character with the Break Yell, so this Ronier will give this to Kirito, now the break will go all the way down to 181.25. Now, what happens if you don't bring that all the way down before the enemy attacks? Well, he annihilates your whole team. So make sure you get rid of that break. Now, I wouldn't worry about having those characters. You don't actually need those sort of characters in your team. I would only worry about that if you're new to the game. You don't have that many great break characters, and you don't have characters that can do 2 incarnates, double incarnate combos. But if you do want those sort of characters, for fire element, you can choose this Mito. For dark elements, you can choose this Kirito. For earth element, you can choose Linel. I still get confused with their names. I'm so sorry. For dark element, you can actually choose this Adis, which was considered to be really good back in the day. For holy element, like I showed earlier, you could choose this Ronier. Like I said, just like that leaf, a bit easy to get. I wouldn't waste my ticket on her. For non-element, I would recommend this Asuna. For water element, I would recommend this Leafa, although I still don't know how I feel about her maximum broke artwork. Okay, I think that's everything. I feel like I'm still forgetting. Well, hopefully I helped you out. Me personally, this is a really good earth element character. I really need her. I've seen so many videos. She has just been thrashing everything. She is destroying everything. I need Christmas admin, and she's finally here. You can at least change to make me feel better. Okay, you know, going through these incarnates, totally forgot how erotic Quinella is, administrator. Goddamn. Oh my god. I literally have every character except for 2. I spent diamond cubes on you in the past. You're finally coming home. Let's go, baby. Dude, I get Abyss Adis so many times. I got so many other characters so many times. The only one I never got out of almost 3 years of playing this game is just Lina. I'm not gonna use her, but she's here for the collection. And I mean, she has EX now, so that's cool. Oh my god, to have every single character out of all 130 characters, I actually have everyone. Jesus, dude, not one of them changed. Okay, fine, I see how it is. Yeah, here, let me show you. This is how many times I got shafted and got every other character that's not the featured character. I never thought I'd get to this point in my life, but I did, and it was not nice. Yeah, every single one. At this point, it's just Imaginariums or Evolution Crystals. Welcome home again, admin. All right, but that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully, I helped you out. If I didn't, let me know, and I'll try to reply as fast as I can. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, why not leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. And if you want to join, I have a Discord at the bottom of the description. You click on that link, and you're sent right to my Discord. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Kaz. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys all again in the next video. Goodbye.